Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. DCP Fitz Bailey wants apology from Integrity Commission over Ryan Evans probe. Justice Marva MacDonald Bishop makes history as Jamaica's first female Court of Appeal president. And later in sports, Reggae Boys fall in latest FIFA World Cup rankings. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here are the details. Justice Marva MacDonald Bishop has officially been sworn in as the Court of Appeal's first female president. The ceremony took place a short while ago at King's House in St. Andrew. Justice MacDonald Bishop succeeds retired President Patrick Brooks.
I, Marva Angela MacDonald Bishop, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Jamaica, that I will uphold and defend the Constitution and the laws of Jamaica, and that I will conscientiously and impartially discharge my responsibilities to the people of Jamaica. So help me God.
A seasoned legal professional, she previously served as a prosecutor and a Supreme Court judge before joining the appeal court in 2015. She's no stranger to the top spot, having acted as president before. Chief Justice Brian Sykes says her appointment marks a milestone for Jamaica's judicial system. Justice Sykes says he's confident she will lead the court with expertise and grace.
And that is regardless of the selection process, and there's a great debate as to how the Chief Justice and the President of the Court of Appeal should be selected. But what we can be assured of is that the Honorable Mrs. Justice MacDonald Bishop is here on merit. Okay?
The Health Ministry is reporting that 82 or 23% of all health facilities were damaged following the passage of Hurricane Beryl. Speaking at a press briefing a short while ago, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the damage has impacted normal operations at some facilities.
Of the total major damage sustained, 41% is impact to roofs. So roofing damage, a number of our facilities have lost their roof, those that have been impacted, or at least have damaged roofing, which has led to water intrusion within the building and of course contributing to damages to a number of internals. Impacts to windows and doors as well as electrical supplies were also identified among the major damage to health facilities.
Dr. Tufton says 76% of the total cost for rehabilitation work will be in the Southern Regional Health Authority.
Manchester and St. Elizabeth and the Western Regional Health Authority, which is Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James and Trelawney. Thankfully, in terms of hospitals, some 23 of our 26 hospitals are now back to normal operation, so 23 of 26. The remaining 3, Black River, Noel Holmes, and Falmouth General, are still operating in emergency mode.
In the meantime, Energy Minister Darl Vass says 80% of pumping sites operated by the National Water Commission are now in operation. Speaking at Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing, Mr. Vass says Manchester and St. Elizabeth are the only 2 parishes lagging behind.
Clarendon total amount of pumps, 25, restored 21. Manchester 11, restored 5. St. Elizabeth 12, restored 3. Hanover 7 from 7. Westmoreland 8, 7 restored. St. James 22, 21 restored. Trelawney 9, 8 restored. St. Anne 11, 9 restored. St. Mary 6, 5 restored. Portland 5, 4 restored. St. Thomas 4 from 4. Kingston and St. Andrew, 20, 19 restored, and St. Catherine, 39 and 36 restored.
A public health emergency. That's how health authorities in St. Thomas describe a water situation that Port Morant Division Councillor says he's been trying to get fixed even before Hurricane Beryl made things worse. Krista Campbell has the details.
A worry over water in several communities in Port Morant, St. Thomas. Residents have resorted to bathing, washing in, and even drinking from rivers in the area since their piped water was disconnected during the passage of Hurricane Beryl 2 weeks ago.
You have a lot of kids that go down there to bathe, and they notice they are carrying small jugs of water. It is not safe for them alone to go down there. So we need the water very urgent.
Standpipes said to never be without water are now dry. But there is one standpipe causing grave concern for the authorities. It's along the Port Morant main road.
This morning I saw people standing up in mud, the same filthy mud, having to catch water. And I'm talking about everybody.
Councillor for the Port Morant Division, Dinsdale Smith, says the standpipe was erected as a temporary solution to an issue created over stagnant water that he's been trying to have fixed for the past few months.
During this hurricane, we had a reactive operation of trying to clean the drainage there. And in doing so, they damaged the water pipe that comes from Apple Farm that feeds the entire Curtis bottom. That pipe being broken, it was bound up. The piece that is not being used is in that filthy water. According to the NWC this morning, they cannot approach that until that water is gone.
When contacted, the National Water Commission said it could not immediately confirm or deny the claims, but TVJ News understands water supply has since been restored in some areas. In the meantime, a medical health officer for St. Thomas, Dr. Doyen Smith, says the blocked drain is creating a public health emergency. The councillor wants all agencies and political representatives to collaborate to fix the problem. Krista Campbell, TVJ News.
And in addition to that, the National Water Commission says it has removed the makeshift standpipe that's causing concern. It says despite the frustration from a resident, while the NWC works to restore the remaining water supplies, it is dangerous for persons to connect to its water lines. The NWC warns that water from unregulated connections could be unsafe and for domestic use. The JCF's head of crime, Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitz Bailey, believes the Integrity Commission should apologize to the JCF for remarks made about the status of the investigation into a 2023 incident involving one of its directors. The DCP was speaking yesterday on Beyond the Headlines.
In its annual report tabled in Parliament last week, the Integrity Commission expressed disappointment that the JCF had not been providing it with updates about last year's investigation into the shooting and robbery of its Director of Corruption Prevention, Ryan Evans. But Head of Crime, DCP Fitz Bailey, believes had the Commission spoken with Mr. Evans, the necessary context on the status of the investigation would have been provided. He revealed earlier this week that Mr. Evans, because of fear, delayed in making a formal statement. This is the main reason the investigation has not gotten anywhere.
I think the Integrity Commission need to apologize to the JCF. That was unjustly done. I am very, very strident on this. The Securities Commission, I have spoken to both Mr. Christie and Justice Panton. They have my number. And if they had any issue, they could have called just to say, what is the status of this investigation? Before you put something in a public document, that it will be there for posterity, for generation to come, for people to look on a document and say, here is it. A member of the IC was shot and injured, and the police showed scant regard for the investigation. That's not how well-structured government and country and institution operate.
DCP Bailey also pointed out that the incident is not linked to Mr. Evans' job at the Integrity Commission.
our investigation revealed that the attack on Mr. Evans was not as a result of his employment to the Integrities Commission. It is as a result of business transaction pattern that has been identified by the criminal, which resulted in him being robbed of cash, and a significant amount of cash as well. He was followed from the bank, and it's a routine that happens every month with that type of transaction.
He says Mr. Evans has since signed his statement. The investigation will continue into the matter. I'm Carrie Simpson.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. To a TVJ News follow-up, the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation says it has now learned that a cemetery which has been under its radar actually belongs to the municipal corporation. In light of the development, Spanish Town Mayor Norman Scott says changes will be made to the operations of the cemetery. Amoy Harriot has the details.
About 2 months ago, the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation launched an investigation into the establishment of this cemetery in Kitson Town, which was believed to be built without the council's approval.
Who are the rightful owners of this property? We've been told all kinds of stories. We've been told that this is in a person's name. We've been told that it's a settlement area.
Turns out the Barry and Lloyd Kitson Town Cemetery is a property of the municipal corporation. Now, there were initial theories that the land was handed over to the corporation several years ago, but there were no supporting documents until now.
We found the title for the cemetery up in Kitson Town. It is actually owned by the council.
The probe into the cemetery came amid concerns about the lack of burial spaces in the parish. Councillor for the Hampton Green Division, Teresa Turner-Flynn, says this remains an issue.
Up in the hills of St. Catherine, we are running out of grave spots. We know we have the new Tedford, but now that we have Barry and Lights now, all we need to do is put in the infrastructure and start to use this cemetery.
It's for this reason Mayor of Spanish Town Norman Scott says a team from the municipal corporation will be making changes to the operations of the cemetery.
We'll have to look up at some kind of upgrading some things to. So a team led by the CEO and the COP and Ms. Holt will do some preliminary, and at the Commercial Services Committee further deliberations and will be done.
Amoy Harriet, TVJ News.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
Cabinet has given approval to the National Road Operating and Constructing Company Limited to accept Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited's financial offer of $20,300,000 plus potential upside formula accounts to acquire the concession to operate and maintain Phase 1C of the Highway 2000 toll roads. The agreement will remain in place until November 20, 2036. The government's acceptance is subject to contract and additional conditions. Phase 1C is the recently completed extension of Highway 2000 between Maypen and Williamsfield. Further afield, U.S. President Joe Biden has canceled another $1.2 billion of student loan debt. This latest round impacts 35,000 public sector workers, including teachers, nurses, and firefighters. The borrowers qualify for debt relief through the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. To date, Biden has canceled more than $168 billion of federal student loan debt for nearly 4.8 million Americans. This announcement comes as the Biden administration fights legal challenges to a separate student loan repayment plan it launched last year. The Supreme Court is expected to decide soon whether to block part of the plan while the matter is fully litigated. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Carrie Simpson.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
in the region. The second batch of Kenyan law enforcement officials has arrived in Haiti as a part of the multinational mission to support the National Police of Haiti to establish peace and security in the country. The mission aims to stabilize Haiti politically and restore effective democracy, with the Multinational Support Mission MSS expected to include around 2,500 police and military officers. On the international scene, Ursula von der Leyen has been re-elected to a second 5-year term as a president of the European Commission after a vote by EU lawmakers. In a pitch to the European Parliament in Strasbourg, France on Thursday, von der Leyen pledged to invest in infrastructure and industry, create a European defence union, and focus on the continent's green transition. She was re-elected with 401 votes in favour and 284 against in a secret ballot. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Nakinsky Robinson.
We head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report.